Hello everyone, I'm in the woods. Just thought I'd switch it up a bit since I've been craving the woods, nature, and the trees. I've been cooped up for too long in my house. It's like way too easy to just be comfy in my bed. I was feeling really inspired this morning after drinking my hot cocoa. This chocolate puts me in such a good, high-vibing mood. It opens my heart. It makes me feel inspired. But I just want to talk about inspiration and where I get my inspiration from. I kind of just, let me just sit down. So, what I've been doing for the past few years of my life is just taking inspired action. So kind of putting myself in a state where I used to be all the time when I was a kid. I would just have an idea of making this little dollhouse out of cardboard paper or something like that. And I would just do it, and I'd have so much fun doing it and putting my little Hello Kitty figurines inside and just playing and just using my imagination. And it just made me feel so good. And I'm realizing that's what it's all about. Just when you have a thought, an idea. First of all, I picture ideas and thoughts as just floating consciousnesses, beings of their own that are just kind of, around. And then the idea or the thought, they want to manifest in physical reality, right? So they choose you, they can choose you, they choose me, they choose people to manifest through, because we are that vehicle in which the universe wants to express itself. So all these thought forms, all these ideas, could be dark, could be light, could be anything. They latch on, not latch on, it sounds parasitic, but it's when you have a random idea or thought, for me at least, it's I feel like it's a little being just wanting to express itself. And so I try my best to heed that call, that inspiration whenever I get it, And today I woke up and I'm it's a beautiful day outside. It hasn't been this sunny in a while, so I'm just gonna go for a walk in nature. And I think too many of us in our day-to-day lives just kind of have those thoughts and think oh, I should go out in nature, but I have to do this or do that and find something more important to prioritize. And that's just the nature of our society right now, is we feel like we need to be productive or given to the instant gratification, when there's so much beauty to be found in the simplicity of just being in nature, taking a walk, going for a cup of coffee in your favorite cozy cafe. Just I'm realizing that my life just starts to reflect how I feel. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it matters how I'm feeling what I'm doing, if that makes sense. So the feeling is what matters. I'm sitting in a patch of snow right now, and I'm feeling so good. I don't need a Ferrari or a trip to Mexico or a bunch of clothes, new clothes. It's I feel so good and at peace just being surrounded by trees. And it's all around us. It's here, for us to access, but we're constantly trying to find more and more to stimulate us, to make us feel better, to make us feel whole, to distract us from ourselves and our boredom. We grow bored because we don't fully appreciate the simplicity of every moment, and it's the present moment. I know it's cliche to say at this point, but I'm looking at that log thing sticking out of the ground, and it looks so cool, how it's just breaking down, and the texture of it, and it's just it's so beautiful in its own way, you know. Decay is so beautiful. And so I'm just trying to infuse that sense of presence and appreciation in every moment. I mean, I can't say every moment, because there are moments where throughout my day I am overthinking, or I'm thinking of, I don't know, traveling, or just getting out of my normal everyday, because it does get kind of mundane. But I just drove like 20 minutes away from my home, and here is nature, just a bunch of trees, and the sun's out, and it's just beautiful. And right now there isn't anything I need more than this, you know. And we live in a society where, we're, like I was saying, we're just constantly chasing after stuff, and it's a never-ending cycle, because we never feel whole, like we're good enough. And that's how this society has been designed, like deliberately, to make us feel like we're not enough. So I mean, that's how they profit off of our insecurities and our lack of wholeness, when we are whole. Like we are and we're not. It's fun kind of being in that cycle anyway, that human cycle of pain, suffering, and also joy and bliss. I mean, I find myself in that cycle too, so I just finding peace and relief and excitement and appreciation in every moment, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are. Look around you right now. It's like you have all these things. We have all these things that we take for granted every day. I'm so freaking abundant. I don't have to worry about my next meal. I don't have to, I have a cozy ass bed I sleep in every night. And I have so much freedom right now, you know. And I'm just so grateful for it. And I'm just so grateful for what else is there to unfold for me in my life. It feels so good. Just be in nature and breathing in all that fresh air and the crisp coldness. It's like the contrast of being inside all day, all cooped up and cozy. It feels so good. That log. I'm gonna sit on it. If you feel like doing something, taking a pottery class, a painting class, a wrestling class, and if there's something that you really enjoyed as a kid and you stopped doing it as an adult, because most of us have been there, pick it up again. Do yourself a favor and pick it up again. We have access to so much potential and talent and gifts. We all have these gifts that are dormant within us. When I tap into the flow and I become one with all that is the universe and everything else falls away, I know that is the ultimate truth for me. That is the truest, most fulfilling, most rewarding, most beautiful state to be in, is when it's just me and my guitar, and I'm strumming and I'm singing, and I'm allowing the thoughts, ideas, and feelings to flow through me in its own, unique way, without trying to control it too much, without thinking about it so much. For me, that's the truest state to be in. The most authentic. I feel the most me. And it's vulnerable. Like today, I was playing the guitar pretty loudly, and my dad just moved in with me, so I've always had kind of a weird relationship with my dad, in that I've always been afraid to express myself around him, because as a kid, it's like, I won't go into it too much, but my voice wasn't really acknowledged as a kid. What I had to say, how I felt. So I kept everything to myself. And now that my dad has moved in, it's like the universe is is forcing me to confront the very thing, the very source of my trauma, the very source of my denial of myself and my voice. Like, yeah, growing up is just really hard to express myself, and now I feel that coming back because my dad is like in my house all the time. But today I was strumming my guitar and it just felt so good. And I knew that my dad could hear in the other room, but I was just playing anyway. And as much as I was afraid to, I just sang, and I let it out. And then he came into the living room and I had my eyes closed, but I sensed that he was there pretty close. And yeah, he just stood there listening to me, and part of me wanted to stop singing so bad, but another part of me was like, keep going, keep expressing. And I just kept going. I sang, I just let it out, not all of it. I'm getting there, but I'd say 70%. That's a pretty good amount. But yeah, it just, we all have these gifts that are waiting to express themselves through us. And it's up to you to step out of the way and allow those to flow through you. Another thing I wanted to mention is I had an acid trip maybe a year ago now, and I remember I was cooped up in my room and I felt like going for a walk, and I was just like kind of feeling really good and just like a kid again, and like kind of skipping around the streets. This is back when I lived in the city, and what came to mind for me was like, when you have nowhere to go, you know where to be. When you have nowhere to go, you know where to be. When you have nowhere to go, you know where to be. And that just kept repeating in my mind, and I just kept like skipping and saying that when you have nowhere to go, you know where to be, because like you're constantly, like, our minds are projected onto the next step, onto the next thing we're gonna do, on the next trip, and the next meeting, and we're never truly fully present. What acid or psychedelics in general allowed me to do is like be fully in the present moment, and realize that like all the things that like we think about and we worry about in our future or our past, they're all like made up in our mind. Not to say that it's not important to know that like your next meeting is at 2 p.m. or whatever, but like acknowledge that, but also flow. So what I do with my days now, it's like, okay, today I'm gonna go for a walk into the woods. I don't know what time. I'm not really paying attention to that. I just know that I'm gonna go at some point when I'm feeling inspired to go. So when I feel like my body and my soul, my mind, my heart, they're all like in alignment and they all like agree on a certain task that I'm gonna do it. So I came here because I felt like I wanted to. I'm in alignment. I'm in the flow. And so it's like tuning into that, what your heart, what your mind, your soul, what it all wants. And how I make my decisions is like, if my body reacts in an expansive way, if I feel expanded and inspired to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna question it. And it's like, but our minds get in the way. I know this because it happened to me all the time, where I'm like, but what if this, and what if that, and I what if I waste my time? What if I don't do anything productive? What if, I don't get anything out of it? And it's all just all these thoughts that hold us back, when I could have gotten nothing out of this today, but I am. Because I choose to be in nature, and it's just, it's all here. It's all here. Like, nothing else I need. I don't need anything else. Wow. Before I head back home, I want to mention the Ringing Cedars series. Just checked these out from the library. The first book is called Anastasia, and it's about this businessman, Vladimir. It's based on a true story. He goes into the woods somewhere in Russia, I forget the name, but finds this not little girl, but young woman who lives in nature, doesn't have a house, and like the animals feed her and have like literally raised her. So believe it or not believe it, she imparts some wisdom onto Vladimir about reality and the universe and the state of humankind, and really just the basic premise from the first book is just like how backwards humans are and how we're doing it like all wrong because we've strayed so far from what is natural. This is what I want to talk about in another video, but I highly recommend you pick it up. I am so close to guaranteeing that it'll change the way you perceive reality forever, and it could even change your life. For me, it only affirmed to me the truth. It's like something that resonates deep within your soul, what she talks about, and it goes against a lot of our normal, everyday, modern understanding of the world and reality, but something within me just knows that what she's saying is like the truth. So it really inspired me, and now there's 8 books in the series total. I'm gonna read 2 and 3. I finished the first book so quickly, but yeah, I just want to say that very quickly. But thanks for watching this vlog. I hope you can feel how inspired and how good I feel right now. I hope to impart that feeling of inspiration and excitement into your life, and doing something that's out of your comfort zone and out of your everyday routine really just refreshes everything, you know. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification button.